Hello, golden retrievers. We're gonna get tied down to the bed again. Woo!
Think we lost some of your words in there, but I'm with you. I got you.
Can we try that again?
Nah. Welcome to episode 234 of Nerdery and Murdery.
Big 234. I'm Zig with your nerdery.
And I'm Geoffrey with your Murdery. Welcome to another week of the highs and lows, the up and down, the good and the bad, and the nerd and the murd. I got a couple of things here. First of all, my latest watch, because I love to give stuff like that when I like stuff. Chelsea and I just finished The Institute. And that was pretty cool. It's on MGM Plus, which if you're Amazon Prime, you can get MGM Plus. It's either based on a Stephen King novel or he wrote. I don't remember. It has something to do with Stephen King. I think it may be based on his work. But anyway, um, it's this group that is that is they're stealing kids. They're kidnapping kids that have either telepathic abilities or telekinetic abilities.
Oh, cool.
And they're
Well, not that they're stealing kids, but it's a cool
right.
premise for a story.
Yes, and they're kidnapping them and they're using them in this institute. And I won't spoil it because it's a relatively new show.
Okay.
But as I went through the show, I was like, okay, why are they kidnapping these kids? What are they doing? And then they showed what they're doing with the kids, and I was like, okay, I still don't get it. And you really don't until the last two episodes when they really reveal what the Institute is doing. And it was like, ooh, that's an interesting conundrum. Would you? And so it's really good. It has Mary, I'm losing her name, from Red and Red 2. The Bruce Willis's girlfriend in Red and Red 2. Mary something. She was also in R.I.P.D. Comedic actor. She's usually in comedies. Um, but she's really good in this. She's the head
Mary
of
Louise Parker.
Mary Louise Parker. She's the head of the Institute in this one. Um, Really good, really cool. The one of the other actors is from Punisher season two. Was he in one and two? Anyway, the big bad guy, who was his friend who turned on him. He's a good actor. I really like
Mhm.
him. He plays a former Boston PD cop who has left the force, because he had a very tragic incident, and he's shown up in this small town where he is the night knocker. He goes around and he checks doors. That's all he does
Okay.
all night long. Checks doors and
That's
just
his
walks
job.
around town.
He's a night
That's his
knocker.
job. Yes. It's really a cool show, and I enjoyed it. I highly recommend The Institute. 8 episodes long, and there is going to be a season 2.
Nice.
So
I may have to check that
really
out.
cool.
That sounds
Yeah,
pretty creepy.
it was very cool. I like it. And the kids are the main part of the show because they're the ones stuck in the institute. And the main character, he's like this super genius kid that the institute kidnaps. And it's pretty wild. It's pretty cool. So highly recommend it. So we were talking just before the show, and I have to get on my soapbox for a minute. So you know, I have my book out there, Prime Numbers. I've published it. I've talked about this on the show. Zig's working on his book. We have author friends, Michael Shanks from Two Geeks and a Microphone, and Stephen Boster, also from Two Geeks and a Microphone. Um, and I'm in all these different author, and I'm going to use air quotes, author support groups on Facebook because I thought that would be really cool. Debut
Mhm.
authors learning about how to do things, especially indie authors, because I put it in a couple of groups. I'd love to use our podcast to help you out. If you've got a book that's out there, let us review it. If we enjoy it, we'll bring you on the show. We'll do an interview.
Yeah.
I think that's important to do that, especially for indie authors, because it is very hard to break in to the writing industry under a traditional publishing company because there's so many out there. And technology and computers and Amazon and things like that. There's others out there, InstaSpark, I think it's called, that allow indie authors to get their voices out there. And I think that's very important because when you have a story in your head, I, I think it's very vulnerable to put your story out there, and I think it's very important to put your story out there. Share it because somebody out there is going to enjoy it. Somebody out there is going to get something out of your work, and it gets that creative idea out there, no matter what it is. Well, where I was getting to in this, there's been a lot of bashing on these various groups lately about anybody who uses AI, artificial intelligence, for anything, for any type of writing, for any type of grammar, for any type of cover art, so on, so on, so on. And literally, to me, it's the people that are going, they took our jobs, is what they're saying. You know, they're saying that people are using AI, that that it's demoralizing, it's disgusting, that it is hurting the quote unquote real writers out there. I'm just tired of seeing that. I don't buy that. I think AI is no different. And I've posted this out there, and I've gotten blamed for this, of course. But there were people that said man wasn't meant to fly. There were people that said the typewriter is an abomination. There are people that said word processing is an abomination.
Yes.
This is technology just going on, and I think AI is enabling people to possibly put stories out there that never could before. Maybe they're not the best writers in the world, but they have an idea. I'm not an advocate for letting AI write the entire book for you, not by
Oh
any
God, no.
means whatsoever. But I
Well,
don't
and if
think that
AI wrote the entire book, it wouldn't be any good.
I agree. The
Yeah.
AI doesn't have heart. It doesn't have emotion.
Yeah.
But I think anybody that uses it and says, here's my idea, and starts writing and then says, hey, where could I improve this? Where's my grammar
Yeah.
off? Could I
It's
flesh this
electronic
out?
editing.
I absolutely think so.
It's
And
it's a free way to get your book edited.
I agree. I agree.
That's what it is.
And
And before, what you would have to do is you would have to. I'm sorry. I'm
mhm,
I'm, I'm just gonna. I too need to stand up on a soapbox. Before, what you would have to do is go to a bookstore, usually either a technical bookstore or a large bookstore that had this section. There are these writing aids, things like Chicago Manual for Style is one of them. It's the one I know off the top of my head. There are several others. What you would have to do is get these big ass phone book sized tomes and you'd run through them and you'd look in to see what you were doing and check the grammar and things like that. It basically is one of those, except instead of you having to look it up and type it out yourself or write it out yourself, it just does it. But it's
sure,
no different than that. It's a way to help you edit your thoughts. Because
I don't see much.
I'm gonna be honest. The book that I'm writing is a good story. The
Mhm.
problem is I have 34 characters and like 15 different tribes of beings that are coming together and interacting, and I needed something to help me get those ideas into lanes
Mhm.
so I could
Mhm.
actually write the story. I know what's supposed to happen. I know how it's supposed to happen. I know specific scenes in the battles. What I'm using the AI for is to help me keep that stuff from getting all jumbled together.
Sure.
Because in my little ADHD tism brain, my assumption is you already know how this story is going to end because I already do. It's that I can't. It's helping me to put it in a way where I don't assume you already know how this is going to play out. Because
So
I don't get how other people don't have pattern recognition, and that's a flaw in my brain. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and I don't see much difference in this from this. When I was in high school, let's date me here, let's age me here,
Hmm.
and when I had to write my term themes, I
Hmm.
had to go down to the research library over on Hewlin in Fort
Uh-huh.
Worth, and
Research library.
I would have to pull books off the shelf, and I would have to research, and I would have to write. Well, how is it any different than I can now do that in Google without having to go through tomes and tomes and tomes of encyclopedias, tomes and
Exactly.
tomes and tomes of pulling
It's
articles
gate.
off a
It's
shelf?
these people yelling. It's gatekeeping. That's all it is.
It
And I
it
don't
is
think,
it is gatekeeping, yes.
and I don't think that these folks really realize how gatekeeperish it is. I mean, that's the last thing our society needs is more gatekeeping. That's our problem right now.
Right,
And all of
right.
our ills in society are, oh, well, we're in a place of privilege and no, and the rest of you can all go get fucked. That's the way
Yeah,
our entire society operates, and it shouldn't.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's not just art. It's fucking everything.
yeah, yeah. No, absolutely agree. And so that's why I kind of had to get on this for a minute because
No, no.
I'm going to say this.
We
And
disagree about some things. This ain't one of them, buddy.
no, I know. I'm gonna say this about all this. Um, and I posted this before as well. If you have a story you would like me to read, if you wrote it, if you had AI write it, if you had AI help you write it, whatever, I'll read it. I'll look at it. I'm happy to help you out and give critique. Um,
Hmm.
it to me it's not much different than a ghostwriter,
Hmm.
but I saw one post where somebody said, "Yeah, if you want to write with AI, just put a giant post on your book that says I suck at writing. I used AI." And I'm like, really? That's the
I
support
might
you want
put
to give somebody?
I might put that in my book somewhere.
Um,
Just to be a dick.
so I just had to get on this for a minute because
Mhm.
I do not understand all this bashing against people who
It's
are
like
being vulnerable enough to get their story out to the world.
it's like anything else. What was that author that was really big in the 80s and the 90s that he basically traded in fear of technology? What the fuck was that guy's name? And he was lauded for a long time, and finally people just realized, oh, this guy's just afraid of technology. What was his name? He was huge. He
Afraid
wrote
of
Sphere.
technology. Oh, Michael Crichton.
Michael Crichton just writes. Michael Crichton writes for boomers who are afraid of new technology. That's his whole shtick. And it basically that's what this sounds like. It's like just don't be afraid. Don't be.
Yeah.
Technology is there to help us, not to hurt us.
Yeah, and I think they are afraid, and so
Yeah.
you know, people can disagree with us on this. I don't care. I just had to give my own opinion of this. And so I've started my own Facebook group to support authors, and I'm going to do everything I can to keep that hate speech out of there because
Nice. Speaking of
it's
which, have you
just
taken a
bad.
look at my second draft yet? I need
No,
I need to know
no,
where it sucks.
no. I will be looking at it this week. I've got extra time this week, so I'm going to be
Thank you.
looking through it.
Thank you.
I also have a few books, people who have submitted to me from my offer to put them out for a podcast, and so
Oh shit.
I've got like five in the tank. No, it's really cool. I've got five in the tank, and I've told them all. I said it's going to take me some time. Please understand.
Yeah,
Um,
we may hit you in 2 months.
yeah.
It'll
Um,
probably be another month before you hear it.
and then I even got somebody that reached out. I thought this was really cool. I'm waiting for him to respond to me right now. Um, Somebody that's a publicist for, I think they said they're a former U.S. Marshal, but they are currently the director of the U.S. Marshals Museum,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they have some true crime stories they would like to talk about and whatnot. And I'm like, bring it on.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Shit, I
Because
might pop popcorn for that episode.
yeah, I think it would be great. So yeah, so it'll be awesome. It'll be really cool. Um, So yes, I have your book on my slate for this week because I just got the second revision yesterday,
Hmm.
and so I have it saved so I can go through it. So
Again, I think you're right. I don't necessarily need the Cimmerillion, but it did need a character
yes, you
list.
do not need the Cimmerillion.
It's fantasy book, kids. It's supposed to be lots of characters. That's how they work.
So anyway, if you don't have anything else, I'll let you take it over to the nerdery side of the house.
Excellent. Today we're going to be Gothy-ish, doom medley, and darkwave-like.
Awesome. And because of the last time we did this, I'm doing the exact same thing we did before. I knew this list was here. I intentionally did not listen to it. I actually only know one song in the list. And as Zig talks, I'm going to listen to some of it and see
Hmm.
what I think about it so I can comment as we go. So Zig thinks that's how you should listen to it as listeners.
Yep.
I agree because I think that's really cool. So I'm going to let him take it off. I'm going to go on mute for a minute while he talks.
Excellent. So yeah, as he was saying, my recommendation is that you watch the episode on YouTube, pause it, and then start with a playlist because the episode is always in the end of the playlist. Listen to the episode, pause it, and then go up and listen to the song, and then unpause and it just it. I this is the way I listen to them when I'm listening back. Mostly, I'm listening for mistakes, but because they're my mistakes. But yeah, so it is another goth music list. Geoffrey seems to really dig the goth music, and everybody else seems to be interested in it too. So we're just going to keep rolling with these ever
Well,
so often.
because it's been some really cool music that I didn't realize how cool it was, and I didn't realize that some of the music I listened to was already goth. Chelsea teases me about it because I've added some goth into our golf playlist that
Mhm.
we play out on the golf course, and she goes, "You're just trying to be cool now."
The first song on the list is Moonchild by Fields of Nephilim. Um, I got some feedback. It's like you didn't have any Fields of Nephilim in this, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Fields of Nephilim is an old-fashioned goth band. They're an English goth rock band formed in Stevengate, Hertfordshire. Pronounce English stuff. In 1984, the band's name refers to the biblical race of angel-human hybrids known as the Nephilim. The band's debut 12-inch EP, Burning the Fields, was first released in 1985 on their own Tower release label and was quickly picked up by Jungle Records. So they formed in 84 and they released their first 12-inch in 1985. Good on them. They put them in the studio for further recordings that became Returning to Gehenna, a 12-inch EP managed by the Jungle Records director. They soon got signed to Situation 2 Records, an imprint of Beggar's Banquet, in 1986 to release Power and Preacher Man and their first album, Dawn Razor, which topped the indie charts in 1987. The next release, Blue Water, was the first Fields of Nephilim single to reach the UK singles charts, number 75. It was followed by Moonchild, the lead single from the second LP, The Nephilim, which is what we're talking about today, Moonchild. It reached 28 in the UK charts. The Nephilim is a second studio album. It was released in September of 1988 by Situation 2, also Beggar's Banquet. The record debuted at number 12 in the UK album charts. Yeah. The album was recorded in the Justice Rooms, a former courthouse in England's Somerset countryside, where defendants who were sentenced to death were hanged on sight. The place has a really cool vibe, recalls bassist Tony Petit. Uh, the Nephilim's opening track, Into Manita, shares its name with a 1968 Mexican horror film and features a man growling, "But this a guy?" Again, my Spanish is terrible. Sampled by Ron Perlman's Hunchback character Salvatore in The Name of the Rose. The album's top charting single, Moonchild, shares its name with Aleister Crowley's novel, while Love Under Will is a phrase from Crowley's Book of the Law. The lyrics for The Watchmen and The Last Exit for the Lost reference H.P. Lovecraft character Cthulhu. The third track, Phobia, is stylistically similar to Motorhead's hit song Ace of Spades, including near identical guitar riffs. The track Shiva, originally the B-side of Moonchild single, is included only on the CD version of the album and not on the original LP release. I would recommend, if you're going to get this album, get the CD version because you want Shiva. Shiva is pretty good. So what did you think? What are you thinking about Fields of Nephilim Moonchild or
I,
Moonchild by Fields of Nephilim?
I like it. Reminds me of Twin Tribes,
Hmm.
quite a bit, which I love. Monolith by Twin Tribes.
Yeah,
Absolutely
yeah. Twin
love that
Tribes
song.
is heavily influenced by Fields of Nephilim.
Yeah, I
Fields of
was.
Nephilim is one of those bands that's there. When you think about goth music, it's like Sisters of Mercy and Fields of Nephilim.
Yeah, that's a really good song. I kind of Steven skipped through it a little bit because I couldn't understand where we were in the verse and in the chorus and everything like
Yeah.
that. But that's a really, really good song. I like that. I'm adding that one.
Yeah. That was making it in there. You just want to
Yeah,
be cool now.
I do just want to be cool now because I'm not.
The yeah, I just again with the goth music, you've got the two towers. Like a suspension bridge. You got Tower One over here is synthy orchestral mood music. Tower Two is hard guitar driving music. What you want is the ones that kind of meet in between. And I'm thinking Fields of Nephilim is one of the ones that meets in between. You want that moodiness and that long build up, a nice slow burn. Um, and you also want the killer guitar licks too. You can have it all. And basically with a goth song, that's what you want. You want it to meet in the middle. Um, the next song is Sister by She Wants Revenge. She Wants Revenge is an American rock band based in the San Fernando Valley. It was formed in 2004. The band is a duo of singers and guitarist Justin Warfield and multi-instrumentalist Adam Bravin. Their music has been influenced by post-punk, dark wave, and gothic rock. The band has sold more than 300,000 records in the U.S. The group's debut album, She Wants Revenge, was released in early 2006 and included the singles Tear You Apart, which has been used. Oh, it's been used in television. It is their biggest hit. It reached number 6 on Billboard's alternative songs. These Things and Out of Control. The band also released the album This Is Forever and Valley Heart before disbanding in 2012. She Wants Revenge since reunited twice in 2015 and 2022. She Wants Revenge is the debut studio album by American rock band She Wants Revenge, mixed by Michael Patterson. The album cover shows a female model wearing white underwear, while the black cover reveals that she's holding a very large knife behind her back, i.e., she wants revenge. So this is actually off their Sister is off of their debut album, which also has Tear You Apart on there. I kind of like Sister a little more than Tear You Apart. I think Tear You Apart's been overused a little bit, and it's mostly from you know people using it in edgy TV shows and stuff as background music, which is fine. I love that they're doing that because if you're going to use a cool song, use that. Use a goth song or use an old indie song that's not getting a lot of play. What did you think about Sister by She Wants Revenge?
I like it. It's very She Wants Revenge. It's
Yeah.
it definitely tells them. I disagree with you. I think Apart is a better song. Even I mean overplayed. It's not like it was overplayed in the pop music in the 80s. But I think that's a much
No.
better song. This one is a
No.
good one though. It's definitely their sound.
Hmm.
There's another song on that same album. Um, and I'm losing the name right now. I'd have to get my phone and find it. Um, Let me look for it real quick. But
That's fine.
She Wants Revenge is a good band. I like them. Um, I've liked most stuff that they do. Here we go. No, not Tear You Apart. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. My phone just started playing. Out of Control is the other one on their album that I really, really like. I love Out of Control, but She Wants Revenge is a great group. They've got a really good sound. I highly recommend that. Highly recommend them.
Nice. The next band is Black Sheep, or is Metric. and the song is Black Sheep, or Black Sheep by Metric. Metric is a Canadian indie rock band formed in 1998 in Toronto, Ontario. The band consists of Emily Haynes. She's the lead vocalist, synthesizers, guitar, tambourine, harmonica, and piano. James Shaw, guitar and synthesizers, theremin and backing vocals. Joshua Winstead, bass, synthesizer, backing vocals, and Jules Scott Key, drums and percussions. The band started in 1998 as a duo formed by Haynes and Shaw with the name Mainstream. After releasing an EP titled Mainstream EP, they changed the band's name to Metric. The band's first studio album, Our World Underground, Where Are You Now, was released in 2003. Live Out Loud was released in 2005 and was nominated for the 2006 Polaris Music Prize for the Canadian Album of the Year and for the 2006 Juno Awards for Best Alternative Album. Their third studio album, Grow Up and Blow Away, was recorded in 2001. It was initially planned as their debut album, but was delayed for many years and finally released with some changes in 2007. Metric's fourth album, Fantasies, was released in 2009. It was shortlisted for the 2009 Polaris Music Prize for Canadian Album of the Year. Metric also won the 2010 Group of the Year. The fifth Metric studio album, Synthetica, was released in 2012. What we're looking for, this song, I believe, is on Synthetica. It's called The Black Sheep. They are still going. They released their ninth LP for Formentera 2 in 2023 on their own label, which you can go out and get right now. So they're still running around and getting stuff done. You know, a nice 26-year career. There's nothing to sneeze at. It's kind of nice to see, you know, some of these bands working and getting their stuff done. I just like I like this one quite a bit. It is a little more moody. You know, theremins and stuff. Of course it is. I think Geoffrey's listening to it right now. What did you think about Metric?
So real quick, I'll come back to Metric in just a second. I want to go back real quick to She Wants Revenge because I thought it was, yes, they did break up, but they actually still do play. According to YouTube, at the bottom of the video, they apparently played at Texas Motor Speedway on October 24th at 9 a.m. in the morning.
What?
That's what it said.
Like 2 weeks ago? Oh, okay. This album's going to be released like months in advance, but yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, that's fun.
That's hysterical. No, Black Sheep is really good. It had a very troubling open to me, just the whole Black Sheep. I can't say it how they were doing it, but it was very hypnotic at first, and almost like what was it making me think of? Carousel. It was making me think of Carousel in Logan's Run. That song
Carousel.
actually would have fit perfect in there. Black Sheep is good. As I listen to it, it actually kind of reminds me a little bit more of another group that you have down in the list further that I'm a little bit more familiar with. But this is a good song. I like what I was hearing so far. Really nice. Good beat. I like it.
Nice. Yeah, and a couple of these songs, they were just indie people, but they just happened to stumble upon making a goth tune. There's one of these in here later on called "Bat for Lashes." It's like, I don't think they meant to make an indie song or a goth song; they just kind of did. The next song on our list is "Ghost Cop." Is the band, and the name of the song is "A Shot in the Dark." The members are Lucy Swope and Sean Dack. They blend elements of darkwave, post-punk, synth-pop, and horror soundtracks. Ghost Cop has built an underground following around the world. They are as influenced by the gloomy forebears of yesteryear as they are by B-movies, which is, you know, that's definitely kind of a backpedaling of goth. Their music ranges from dystopian dance floor heaters to cinematic anthems and vocoder lullabies, pairing punishing beats, haunting melodies, and lyrical storytelling. This song was released February 10th of 2023, so I wanted something kind of new. The official video for "Shot in the Dark" by Ghost Cop was directed by Sean Dack and Lucy Swope, so they actually did the stuff for themselves. What did you think about Ghost Cop? I'm gonna give him a minute.
Sorry, I had to pause it there.
No, you're fine. This is a pretty underground band. There's not a lot of stuff on them. Them and the next one
Yeah, I had to pause the music. Absolutely love the open for this song.
Yeah,
Love it. And as I'm listening to the song, I haven't gotten any words yet as I'm listening to the song, but just from the beginning where I am, over a minute in, there's been no words yet. Um, this song would fit right in with prime numbers
yeah,
perfectly,
yeah.
perfectly. I,
This
I, I
is
can I can almost see the theme this would go with. That I love this song.
this is very synthy. Very
Yeah,
synthy. It's like they were like listening to Old New Order and stuff, and they're like, we should do stuff like
yeah.
that.
This song, just from what I've heard, is great. I love
Yeah,
it. Love
it's
it.
good mood music. Now, I don't think there are any guitars in this. There's some guitar sounds, but yeah, they're definitely towards the the mood music tower than they are the Rocky Tower. Again, my humble opinion, where goth music is the best, it's where it meets in the middle. But you can't discount this good moody. Put this on, let a goth chick tie you up. Sorry, that's a horrible thing to say. So good. I'm glad you like. I'm glad you like Ghost Cop. You're still listening to it. Nice.
Yes, I am.
Did you get to the words yet?
Yeah,
I think they're about 2.5, 3 minutes in because it's like a six
yeah,
minute song.
yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
I'm. Yeah.
it's definitely an atmosphere song. The next band is a little tragic. They are a band from Berlin. They're electrical. It is spelled Elektrokohle. The name of the song is Introspective. Um, the members are Mr. Cigarette Butt, Suzanne Flagg, and Mona Main. They released, in an edition of 300 copies, they included leaflets in this release related to the death of Susan Flagg. So Susan Flagg, who is pretty heavily featured in this video, is no longer with us. In memory of Susan Flagg, our bassist and partner in crime, who passed away too soon to see the release of this LP. We shared tears, laughs, dreams, loves, and cheap drinks. This album stands as a testament to all those unforgettable moments, and it will forever hold your presence in our hearts and lives. Deeply missed, Mona and Mr. Cigarette Butt. The name of the release is Cult Wie Die Bist. It is on Oculo Records. It's vinyl, LP 45. It is German. It was released February 1st of 2025. So this is very, very recent. They say the genre is electronic dark wave, industrial, post-punk, punk. Mr. Cigarette Butt's real name is Amando Longo. He's actually Brazilian guitarist, bassist, or I'm sorry, Susan Flagg's name was actually Amanda Longo. She's actually Brazilian, not German. She was a bassist and singer, but she lived in Berlin and worked in Berlin. And she died on November 15th, 2024. We've got a couple of images of her. This song is amazing. This is very, very goth music. If it's hard to understand, it's because it's not all in English. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of English, mostly it's German. But it's okay, because you want that industrial. Honestly, industrial music to me needs to be in German. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but honestly, I, I want it to be like Das Boot or Du hast. You know, I, I want some German in that because it kind of, I feel like it needs it because it's a. I'm not saying that the German people are harsh people, but the language is a very harsh pronunciation, so it kind of lends to this music.
Yeah, but you can have German that's really good stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll point to Falco with
yeah.
that. I think he does some very, very good. Yeah, Rock Me Amadeus, I think, is better in German.
It is
Um,
better in German.
his song,
99 Luftballons is better in German than it is in
yeah, oh,
English.
absolutely. Falco's song Genie and Genie Part Two Coming Home are
Hmm.
beautiful songs.
Yeah. Yes.
Beautifully sang.
Well,
The message
and
behind them, not so much, but
the Southern German is a little easier on the ear too
hmm
than the Northern Du hast German. I don't know. There's actually a word for it, but I don't know what it is.
it's guttural. It's
Yeah.
guttural.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, that this kind of music wins. What do you think about electrical?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's very 80s club music to me.
Yes.
You talked about the hard to understand the lyrics. There's not many lyrics in it. I was able to get through
Yeah.
the whole song as you were talking. Um, yeah, but I like it. I like
Yeah.
it's really a cool song.
Yeah, it is.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I kind of dig some German songs. So.
Me too. Me too. Um, yeah, and unfortunately, I hope they keep going. Although, losing that bassist and vocalist is going to hurt them quite a bit. Suzanne Flagg, um, Amanda Longo, um, because she was kind of incredible and a great bass player. Um, so in putting this list together, um, and all these other subsequent goth lists, I realized that all the goth people that I know also really, 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 really loved Leonard Cohen. Leonard Cohen is especially the "I'm Your Man" album. Leonard Cohen was more of a poet and kind of a world music person. But the song is "Everybody Knows," which is I think his most famous song. That and um, oh my God, Hallelujah, which usually people don't know it by him. It's by other people because everybody's recorded Hallelujah. Jeff Buckley recorded a great version of it for the film Shrek. Oh my God, what's his name? The keyboardist from Velvet Underground, John Cale. John Cale recorded a version of it for the Shrek, the Shrek soundtrack, the original Shrek soundtrack, which is incredible and hauntingly beautiful. But everybody knows that one, and they know everybody knows. It was played quite prominently in a film about pirate radio in the early '90s. That's the song that the Happy Harry Hard-On used to pump up the volume when he opened his show. Was "Everybody Knows" by Leonard Cohen. Leonard Cohen was a Canadian songwriter, singer, poet, and novelist. His themes commonly explored throughout his work include faith and morality, isolation and depression, betrayal and redemption, social and political conflicts, sexual and romantic love, desire, regret, and loss. He was inducted into the Canadian Hall of Fame, the Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was invested as a companion of the Order of Canada, the nation's highest civilian honor. In 2011, he received one of the Prince of Historians Awards for Literature and the ninth Glenn Gould Prize in 2023. Rolling Stone named Cohen the 103rd greatest singer. Now, Leonard Cohen is not what you would consider classically a good singer. He has a very deep voice, and mostly it is droning, but for the stuff he does, it's kind of perfect for it. Um, I'm Your Man is like in the middle of his career. It's his eighth studio album. It was released on February 2nd of 1988. Um, the album marked Cohen's further move to a more modern sound, with many songs having a synthesizer-oriented production. It soon became the most successful studio album which Cohen had released to the U.S. And it reached #1 in several European countries, transforming Cohen into a best-selling artist. So again, Leonard Cohen was kind of an underground guy, kind of like Kate Bush, which again, it still floors me that her song "Running Up That Hill" went all the way around the world. I love Kate Bush, but she was real nichey when that song came out, just like Leonard Cohen. Um, and the fact that these two songs, again, and I tie these two songs kind of together, the Running Up the Hill um, and Everybody Knows. I had them on a playlist or on a mixtape together. It was that and a couple of Cure songs, and it was just like, I can play this while I drive. And Deliverance by um, the Sisters of Mercy. Um, but yeah, it floors me that became those songs became mainstream because it of all of the things that I think about from the indie stuff that I was listening to back in the late 80s and the early 90s, those would have been last on the list if I were guessing. Um, Not that I think it's bad. I think everybody should listen to Kate Bush and Leonard Cohen because they're just fucking good. They should also listen to Joan Armatrading, if they like either one of those. Um, but as I watch like the Stranger Things season 4 and watch the little girl Max, where she's walking around with that song playing in her headphones in 1986. Yes, that's exactly what that girl would have been listening to. I knew that girl. I knew a lot of girls just walking around listening to Kate Bush in their headphones, just trying to get through the fucking day. I bet she was also listening to this song too.
Okay, let me put another point on that real quick. If there's any of you out there that want to know what it was like living in the 80s, minus the horror aspect of it, watch Stranger Things.
Yeah,
You'll see it perfectly. They capture
it
perfectly.
Pretty with copy pastes.
Yes.
And what's great is the next episode is, or the next season is taking place in, I believe, 1987.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
The last last season.
Yeah. Here's the thing: 1987 was an economic downturn for most of the bottom 70% of the country. So that's going to be reflected in this town getting destroyed in 1987. Those two guys are fucking geniuses. I don't even know if that's what they were thinking, but goddamn. Brilliant. Anyway, it's so fucking meta. I've digressed. We're talking about Everybody Knows off of I'm Your Man. Now, as good as this song is, it's not even the best song on this album. In my humble opinion, I'll Take This Waltzes or I'm Your Man. 1A and 1B. But followed quite closely by Everybody Knows. What do you think about Everybody Knows by Leonard Cohen?
That's the song on the list I knew. Of course, I knew it because there's I like two versions of the song because I know multiple people have done this as well. But him and Concrete Blonde, I like their version of this as well.
I love Concrete Blonde's version. They got a lot of shit for it. It's like, there's a good version. It's nice to hear somebody sing this in more than one note.
Yeah. And in this song, I mean, this song takes me back to Pump Up the Volume, a movie I absolutely love because it's featured in that. But Leonard Cohen is great. I did not realize it was goth. Again, one of those things that I just didn't know. That's where it was
I think
classified.
He stumbled into a lot of goth people listen to this in mixes with their goth music. So it's one of those ones that kind of stumbled into being goth.
Gotcha. But yeah,
goth
everybody knows
is
a great song. It's a very haunting song. Great song.
Yeah, especially with that little bouzouki or Spanish or Greek guitar that's going on in the background. It just, oh my God, beautiful. The next song is I Love You by the Fontaines DC. Fontaines DC are an Irish post-punk band formed in Dublin in 2014. The band consists of Brian Chayton, Connor Curley, Connor Digo Deegan on bass, Connor Curley's on guitar, Grian Chatton is on vocals, Tom Cole on drums, and Carlos O'Connell on guitars. The band members met while attending BIM Dublin Music College and bonded over a common love of poetry. They began to self-release singles and perform live regularly, signing to Partisan Records in 2018. The band's debut album, Doggerel, was released on April 12th, 2019. To widespread critical acclaim, it was listed as the album of the year on record store Rough Trade's website. Album of the year by presenters of the BBC Radio 6 Music and nominated for the Mercury Prize, Choice Music Prize. The band's second studio album, A Hero's Death, written and recorded in the midst of touring to promote their debut album, was released on July 31st, 2020. A Hero's Death was nominated for Best Rock Album. Their third album, Skinty Fia, released in 2022. Skinny Fia is the third studio album. It was released on Partisan Records, and it is what the song I Love You is on. Skinny Fia was produced by Dan Carey. Its title refers to an old Irish saying that drummer Tom McCall's great aunt used to say. The phrase Skinty Fia translates to the damnation of the deer. Both the title and the cover art allude to the extinct Irish elk, also known as the giant deer. So they're a post-punk band. I don't think they were going for a goth sound. I think, again, like Leonard Cohen, they just kind of stumbled on it in this. And this is relatively recent. They released another album after Skinty Fia. They released Skinty Fia in 2022 and then Romance in 2024. Again, not trying to do a goth record per se. They just kind of stumbled onto it with this song. This might be more goth adjacent than anything else, much like Everybody Knows. But it's got the sound. It's definitely more guitar oriented than atmospheric oriented, but to me it kind of dovetails quite nicely. If you put all of these goth songs into a playlist that we've talked about, I think you're going to end up with like 50 songs. It's great. You could put them on in a club and just let them roll. This would dovetail in quite nicely. What did you think about I Love You by Fontaine's DC?
Well, you've hit the first one on our list I really didn't like.
Oh, yeah.
I like the music of it. That felt out of place for me. I didn't like his voice very much. But as I was listening to this, it was kind of funny the way that the music was kind of going and how it was portraying. The thought in my head was, this is somebody trying to do a power ballad in goth.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I don't think they were originally going for a goth sound, or they just kind of stumbled on it.
Maybe. I just kind of found the singer's voice a little annoying, almost a little fingernails on the chalkboard. But the music in itself is very, very good. But like I said, yes, I just heard power ballad written all over this as I was going through it. It was kind of funny.
Goth power ballad.
But it's not one that I could listen to over and over again because the singer just throws me off.
Right on. That's fair. The next song is How Not to Drown by Churches. Churches spelled Chvrches. It is pronounced Churches. What is interesting about this song is they did get a guest vocalist on it. It is Robert Smith of The Cure. Churches are a Scottish synth pop band from Glasgow formed in September of 2011. The band consists of Lauren Mayberry, Ian Cook, Martin Doherty, and officially since 2018, Johnny Scott. Mostly derived from synth pop genres, Churches also incorporates indie-tronic, indie pop, and electronic dance into their sound. 2 years after their formation, Churches released Recover EP in March of 2013, which includes the hit The Mother We Share and Recover. The debut studio album, The Bones of What You Believe, was released in September of 2013. While the band was ranked 5th on the Sounds of 2013 list by the BBC. 2 years later, in September of 2015, the band released their second album, Every Open Eye. The third album, Love Is Dead, was released in 2018. Screen Violence was released in 2021. Screen Violence is the fourth studio album by Churches. It is the lead single, He Said, She Said, was released. The album was announced alongside the second single, How Not to Drown, which was a collaboration with Robert Smith of The Cure. The album was promoted with a North America tour from November to December of 2021. Robert Smith does figure pretty heavily on a giant screen in this video. Look at all Robert Smithy. Looks pretty good. He's starting to get on up there, and I think they're doing their last tour now. They will probably play little shows every once in a while because that band's basically a family now. But they're basically winding down. But I would expect to see him do more stuff like this with churches because he likes that synth pop stuff. He did some of that synth pop stuff. And again, he is kind of one of the godfathers of goth, although he doesn't consider himself gothy. He thinks most of his stuff is humorous. But that's just because he's got a weird sense of humor. What did you think about Churches and How Not to Drown with Robert Smith?
So as I started listening to it, I already have a Churches song in my playlist, and it's Get Out. From which I really, really like Get Out. I think that's a phenomenal song, and I haven't dived very much into their other stuff. But I started listening to this song, and I'm like, okay, this is catchy. This is kind of cool. I like it. Okay, it's not Get Out. It's doing pretty good. Oh my God, Robert Smith, fucking listen to him. Shit.
Yeah.
And the song turned. He's not in it much. He doesn't sing in it very much at all. But the second his piece comes in, that song took a turn and launched into space. That song is fucking phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal. Fuck you. Fucking phenomenal. Sorry. I know I used the F word.
Well, okay, there, so there's a little... No, you're fine. What's up with all the fucking fucks?
No, I really, really... And I mean, I went to my phone. I went, okay, playlist, here we go. That's a great
yeah,
song.
There's a little bit of... If you notice, there's a little bit of guitar when he kicks in, too. Kind of in the background. Yeah, that's him playing. People forget how good of a fucking guitar player that dude is. Because he always he likes moody guitars. He likes the rhythm and the lead to blend together like shoegazing. Because to him, that's what sounds best. It's more orchestral. But make no mistake, that motherfucker can play.
So what I really enjoy when you do these lists is every now and then you find a song that I've not heard before that not only does it go into my playlist, but it's one that I will listen to over and over and over and over. The Trip is one of those from Still Corners. Monolith by Twin Tribes has now become one of those. This one by Churches.
Oh, Twin Tribes, you can go see them, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I know they're here now. Yeah, I've actually talked to Jen about that. This song is going to go in that list of one of those that I could listen to again and again and again. The more I listened to it, I was just floored by how good that song is. That's
sweet.
Spot on, Zig. That song, great.
So again, kids, this is the best way to listen to this. And I don't want to, get people away from our Spotify list. But if we got these lists, go to the playlist when the episode drops. Go to the bottom, listen to the episode. When we get to a song, pause it, go up, play the song. And when it's over, go back and unpause the episode. You'll be like within 30 seconds of where you dropped off.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, as Geoffrey can attest and as I can attest, that's the best way to listen to these. That's how I listen to them.
It's the way I'm going to do it from now on. I learned it with that last goth, that whichever episode that was. I did that. I think it was our last goth episode. Mm-hmm. And now this one, I'm going to ignore his list. I'm going to see what they are and wait, and I'm going to listen as we go.
Oh yeah. See if you know any of the songs.
Yep.
Yeah, if you do, everybody knows.
Yep.
Mostly because through most of the 90s, I bashed everybody's head in with that song. It was always on in my car. It's like, yeah, because I would just make mixtapes to listen to in my car because I had a tape player in my little 93 Mustang that I had for a decade. The next song is What's a Girl to Do by Bat for Lashes. So again, as I said, not everybody was trying to write a goth song when they started out. I think this is another one of those bands that they just kind of stumbled upon it. Natasha Khan, born October 25th, 1979, known professionally as Bat for Lashes, is an English singer, songwriter, producer, and multi-instrumentalist. She's released 6 studio albums: Fur and Gold in 2006, Two Sons in 2009, The Haunted Man in 2012, The Bride in 2016, and Lost Girls in 2019, and The Dream Delphi in 2024. She's received 3 Mercury Prize nominations. Khan is also the vocalist for Sex Witch, a collaboration with the rock band Toy, and producer Dan Carey. Fur and Gold is the debut studio album for English singer Bat for Lashes. It released on September 11th, 2006 by the Echo label. It was met with critical acclaim and received nominations and a Mercury Prize. The album was re-released through Parlophone. Fur and Gold spawned the single The Wizard's Trophy, Priscilla, and What's a Girl to Do. We are talking about What's a Girl to Do. It was re-released as a 12-inch vinyl with a remix featuring Scorpius, Pip, and Plaid. As of April 2009, Fur and Gold has sold 27,000 copies in the United States. So it's a little more underground. She's kind of an indie singer-songwriter, and I think, in my opinion, I don't think she was necessarily trying to write a goth song. I think she was just trying to write a cool song. But with the people in the furry heads bicycling through through a forest at night down a road in the video, she kind of stumbled upon it. Again, this is not a long song. This is a pop song. It's 3 minutes, but I would say a lot like one of our other lists where we talked about Stay by Shakespeare's Sister. There's a pop element to goth music. It's a pretty big genre. Again, you're looking between the guitar rock and between the atmosphere moody music. Most of the pop stuff is towards the atmosphere moody stuff, but sometimes it's not. I think this is one of those cases where it just kind of stumbled onto that bridge. What do you think about What's a Girl to Do by Bat for Lashes?
So when I first started listening to the song, it was, it's narration before it gets into the music. She's talking instead of singing. And I was kind of
very English too.
I was kind of like, okay, come on, let's go. But interesting enough story. But then, so there's a genre, there's a subculture of people out there, and they're called furries.
Yes.
And these are people who like to dress up in animal outfits.
Yes.
They have a
like
fetish
mascots.
Yeah, like really, yes, mascot size. And it's a fetish, and I'm not downplaying those people. Do you? But
they're all actually really, really prominent in the geek
yes.
World. So we come in contact with these people a lot.
But outside of a mascot at a football game, seeing somebody in a large animal costume in the dark is creep factor for me. It takes me to Donnie Darko. Creep factor. And so she's riding along on her bicycle and she's narrating, and suddenly these 4 people, you said 3, it's 4 people,
it is 4,
all in the big furry costumes, are on bikes behind her and clapping and things, and I was like, this is giving me the willies.
Okay.
And then it goes from 4 to 7 people at one point, all behind her on the bike. And I'm just like, the song is really, really good.
Kind of watch the video now to see how many furries there are in there.
I think at one time you have 7.
Okay.
It's creepy. It is we had that one song in the goth list. She Passed Away. That the song is really, really good, but the video is really, really creepy. This is another one of those. The song is really, really good. The video is very, very creepy.
Yeah, it's a little creepy. I think it's all in the dark in this English forest.
Yeah.
I don't think she was necessarily trying to write a goth song. I think she just ended up doing it. It wasn't like Fields of Nephilim. They're trying to write goth music. Not this one. So again, for the next song, we have discussed about how goth and punkabilly have a bit of they're people in the same genres. You'll have rockabilly people, but kind of gothy too. It's a subgenre all of its own. You could trace that back to these guys. That is the Cramps, and the name of the song is "Sheena's in a Goth Gang." So there was a play on "Sheena is a Punk Rocker" by the Ramones, but this is one of those ones that is, oh goodness, um, just it's just, I mean, trying to look for words. It's just sexy. I'm sorry. It's fetishy and just fun. The Cramps were an American rock band formed in 1976 and active until 2019. Their lineup rotated frequently during their existence with a husband and wife duo singer Lux Interior, also known as Eric Lee Perkheiser, and guitarist Poison Ivy, Christy Marlena Wallace, the only ever-present members. The band was credited progenitors of the psychobilly subgenre, fusing elements of punk rock with rockabilly. The addition of guitarist Brian Gregory and drummer Pam Balaam resulted in the first complete lineup in April of 1976. They released their debut album, Songs the Lord Taught Us, in 1980. The band split after the death of lead singer Lux Interior in 2009. Big Beat from Badsville is the seventh studio album by the Cramps. It was released in 1997 on Epitaph Records. The album was recorded and mixed and engineered at Earl Mankey's house in Thousand Oaks, California in May of 97. It was produced by Poison Ivy and Lux Interior. It is the only Cramps album that consists solely of original songs. The Cramps reissued the album on their own record label, Vengeance Records, in 2001 with 4 bonus tracks: Confessions of Psycho Cat, No Club, Lone Wolf, I Walked All Night, and Peter Gunn. Besides Poison Ivy and Lux Interior, and I'm sorry, I get kind of southern when I get kind of southern when I when I start talking about psychobilly and punkabilly. It was Slim Chance on the bass guitar and Harry Drumdini on drums. What did you think about Sheena's in a Goth Gang by the Cramps?
So definitely a punk song for sure, but
Mm-hmm.
this is one of those that Quentin Tarantino needs to know about. It would fit
Yeah.
in one of his movies. It would have fit in
Yes.
Dusk Till Dawn. It would have fit in, this is not Tarantino, but it would have fit in True Blood.
Mm-hmm.
This was a really, really cool song. I like this kind of sound,
Yeah.
that whole rockabilly stuff.
Yeah.
I think
Punkabilly.
is
Cowpunk.
punkabilly, however you want to do it, cowpunk. I think that's really, really cool. There was like a couple of pieces in there. I'm like, oh, this is a little too punk, but then it picked back up, and
Mm-hmm.
really good song. Like I said, Tarantino needs to know about this one.
Yeah. Big Beat from Badsville, in my humble opinion, is like one of their best albums. I think it was kind of the height of what they were doing. Um, and again, if you like the blasters and stuff, this shit's right up your alley. But again, it's kind of where that stuff crosses over. Um, so yeah, that's about it for this list of goth music, or as we called it, goth-ish or gothy-ish, doom metally, and darkwave-like. But again, it was requested.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's cool. It's good stuff. Again, this is a genre I didn't realize that I liked. But I do. I really like this stuff. This was a really, really good list. The goth list that we've had before, there's been some really, really good stuff, and then some stuff I'm like, okay.
oh, I like that. Yeah.
But this one was a really, really, really good list. I think there was like one that I just DC, the Fontaine's DC was the one I
Fontaine's
just,
DC. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't.
And again, I don't think they were trying to write one of those songs. They just kind of stumbled
No,
on it.
and it was just the singer. The music is just fine. But this whole list from top to bottom, really, really good. Good choosing. Good picks.
Thanks, sir.
Good picks. Cool. Awesome. With that, we'll step over to the murdery side of the house.
Murder.
Okay, for today, I got my information off BBC News, Wikipedia, Britannica, all that's interesting, the Jack the Ripper tour blog, Wired magazine, and Stuff You Missed in History Class podcast. And this is the story of Mary Ann Cotton.
Mary Ann Cotton, was she one of the Whitechapel murders?
No, she was
Okay.
not.
Okay.
I do want to give a thanks out to our good friends, Michael Shanks, co-host of the super fun podcast, Two Geeks and a Microphone, and his wife Brenda for recommending this one. As soon as Brenda was actually the first one that pinged me on this and started talking about it, and I'm like, have I done this one before? And I thought I had, but you'll kind of see there's similarities to some others. And I think the last time I did one like this, I talked about this must have been a thing
Mhm.
um, back in the time when this happened. But you know, if you've ever heard the phrase that poison was a woman's weapon, you can thank Mary Ann Cotton and stories like hers for that reputation. She was a very polite, calm, and seemingly ordinary. She was a nurse, a wife, and a mother. She grew up in the villages of northeast England during the 1800s, and nothing about her
Mhm.
really stood out. There was nothing that really seemed dangerous. But by the time she climbed the gallows at Durham Gaol, whatever, in 1873, at least 21 people were dead, husbands, lovers, children, stepchildren, and even her own flesh and blood. She killed them all, most likely with arsenic, which is slow, painful, and very undetectable at first. And she killed for money, for convenience, or maybe simply because she could. This was England's first female serial killer and one of the most quietly terrifying figures of the Victorian age.
This is giving a very arsenic and old lace feel.
Yeah. And we've talked about some other killers in the past that used arsenic to do. If I recall right, if I go back, Nanny Doss,
Hmm.
I believe, used some arsenic.
Hmm.
This kind of just harkened back to this, and so I'm just, I wonder that they all have their own little internet back then. And hey, if you use arsenic, you can get away with fucking anything. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Unless they're
um,
looking for it.
right. So Mary Ann Robeson was born on October 31st, Halloween, 1832, in Low Morsley, County Durham, which was a small coal stained village near Sunderland. Her father, Michael Robeson, worked as a colliery sinker. He went down to the shafts to dig out new seams of coal, which was very dangerous, very dirty, but it was very honest work. Her mother, Margaret Lonsdale Robeson, she kept the house, she raised the children, and lived a very hard life in the shadows of the mines. When Marianne was about 10, her father fell to his death down a mine shaft, which devastated the family. And they were poor before, but afterwards they were nearly destitute. So really, poverty really kind of shaped her world. This was the industrial North in the mid 1800s, and it was a very rough place with soot, disease, child labor, and hunger. If you were born poor, you usually stayed poor.
Mhm.
Her mother did remarry, and Marianne hated her stepfather. She left home young, worked briefly as a nurse, then as a dressmaker. In those early losses, her father dead, a mother remarried, and constant instability planted the seed for a life that would be built on self-preservation. And so survival came first, and compassion came later, if at all. In 1852, at the age of 20, Marianne married a man named William Mowbray, who was a ship's fireman. They moved around around Cornwall and then Sunderland, wherever the work took them. They had as many as 9 children, although the records vary, and most of them died young. The official causes were things like gastric fever or stomach inflammation, and death among children weren't unusual in Victoria, England, but it happened around Marianne with a disturbing regularity. After a few of those tragic losses, William took out life insurance policies. Here again, we've had this done in the past as well.
Mhm.
He took small amounts meant to cover funeral expenses and maybe more. Pretty sad that there was enough death around him. He's like, I better get some insurance policies on these kids that keep dying on me.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Um,
we're gonna be in the DOS house because we're not gonna be able to pay for the funerals.
right.
Good God. A word
By
sadly English.
I know. By 1865, William was dead, supposedly from intestinal disease, and the payout went to Mary Ann. She buried him, collected the money, and moved on. And if this had been the end of her story, they might have dismissed everything as tragedy. It was just
Yeah,
one of countless
yeah,
widows left behind by illness and poverty.
yeah.
But it wasn't the end of all. It was the
Coal
pattern's
mine in
beginning.
England. This shit happens.
Yeah, this was the beginning of a pattern. Not long after Mowbray's death, Mary Ann took work as a nurse for a man named George Ward, who was recovering from illness. Within months, she married him. Within a year, he was dead. Once again, the cause was listed as intestinal problems. Once again, she collected on insurance policy.
Hmm.
And friends remarked, how rapidly she moved on. But honestly, in mining towns where people died young, this wasn't shocking.
Mm-mm.
After George Ward's death, Mary Ann went to work as a housekeeper for James Robinson, who was a widowed shipwright with several children. Within weeks of her arrival, one of Robinson's children died, again, gastric fever.
Mm-hmm.
Then Mary Ann's own mother became ill and died after Mary went to, air quotes, care for her.
Mm-hmm.
And Robinson was grieving, and so Mary Ann confronted him. They married in August of 1867, and soon afterward, two more of Robinson's children and a baby from the marriage also died, all with the same symptoms. And when Robinson discovered that Mary Ann had taken out insurance policies and was stealing money, he threw her out of the house. This marriage ended without a death for Mary Ann, but it did leave a trail of small coffins and suspicions, not a death of a husband at any rate.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Ann then moved to West Auckland, where she met Frederick Cotton, who was a recent widower with two sons. She offered him comfort, moved in as a housekeeper, and married him in 1870. And even though her marriage to Robinson had never been legally dissolved. But soon, Frederick's sons died, followed by an infant daughter, and then Frederick himself fell ill and died, and Mary got another insurance payout. So she was now living under the name Mary Ann Cotton, and she began seeing a man named Joseph Nattrass, who was a former lover who conveniently reappeared after Cotton's death. Nattrass moved in. He was very healthy and strong, till he wasn't. Spoilers. He died after a sudden painful illness that looked an awful lot like gastric fever, and Mary Ann was the beneficiary of yet another policy. Now, at this point, local gossip started to stir up a little bit. There were too many funerals, a little too many coincidences, and too many fevers.
Insurance companies had to pay out too many times to this lady.
Yes, but Victorian England was a polite society. Nobody wanted to believe that a very tidy, well-spoken widow could be a serial murderer. So she moves on.
She's making a fortune.
After Nattrass's death, Mary Ann was left with one surviving stepson, Charles Edward Cotton, who was aged 7. She told neighbors that he had died, and the parish would need to cover burial costs. But then the local official, Thomas Riley, he came to verify. He found that Charles was still very much alive, and she reportedly said to him, "quote He'll go like all the rest of the Cotton." Days later, the boy was dead.
Uh-huh.
That remark, along with the boy's sudden death, finally pushed Thomas Riley to act. He went to the police and the local doctor and ordered the body to be tested for poison. Autopsy did find arsenic in the child's stomach. Again, arsenic was everywhere in Victorian life. It was used in rat poison, dyes, wallpaper, cosmetics, but the amount found in Charles Edward's system could have only come from deliberate administration. Investigators exhumed the bodies of several other victims, many of those contained arsenic as well. So on July 18th, 1872, Mary Ann Cotton was arrested and charged with murder. She remained calm through everything, and she denied everything. When the police took her away, she was said to have remarked that she'd soon be released, that it was all a mistake, but it was not. The trial began on March 5th, 1873 at Durham Assize, maybe, with Justice Archibald Kelly presiding, and the courtroom was packed. Newspapers across England were obsessed with the story of the quiet mining village widow who had allegedly poisoned her whole family. The press called her the West Auckland Borgia, comparing her to the famous Italian poisoners. Mary Ann was charged only with the murder of her 7-year-old stepson, Charles Edward Cotton, though prosecutors hinted she was responsible for many more deaths. The evidence centered on the chemical proof of arsenic in the stomach, witness testimony about her remark that he'll go like all the rest of the Cottons, and her pattern of serial bereavements and insurance payouts. The defense argued that arsenic was common in the household and that accidental poison couldn't be ruled out, but the prosecution pointed out the scale and consistency of the pattern. So many people all dying the same way, all after she took out insurance policies. The jury deliberated for all of 90 minutes, and the verdict was guilty. When Justice Kelly pronounced the death sentence, Marianne reportedly stood straight and composed. She continued to protest her innocence, saying she was a victim of circumstance and gossip. While waiting for execution, she was visited by she and offered the chance to test, but she refused. Rumors circulated that she had kept a list of all her victims hidden somewhere in her cell, but no such list was ever found, and public sympathy was scarce. The press painted her as cold and calculating and, quote, a monster in crinoline. I don't know what that means. I meant to look that up. So on the morning of March 24th, 1873, the day before my birthday, but not in 1873, crowds gathered outside Durham Gaol. Public hangings had recently been abolished, but word of her execution spread quickly. The hangman was William Calcraft, notorious for his long drop failures that led to slow strangulations. And true to form, the rope was cut short. So Marianne did not die quickly. She struggled for several minutes before going still. She was 40 years old at the time of her death. Officially, she was only executed for the single murder, but unofficially, she may have been responsible for as many as 21 deaths, possibly more, and her remains were buried within the prison grounds in an unmarked grave. This case fascinated Victorian society. It both horrified and enthralled the idea that a woman, especially a mother, could be a serial killer. There were folk songs that sprang up, the most famous beginning, quote, Marianne Cotton, she's dead and she's rotten, lying in a bed with her eyes wide open. The nursery rhyme only deepened the public's obsession, turning a killer into kind of a dark legend. Newspapers debated her motives. Some said it was greed, others said madness, a few suggested sheer evil. The reality, though, was really probably simpler. It was a world where women had few economic options. She turned to life insurance into survival, and she weaponized compassion for cash. Forensics advanced because of cases like hers. The March test for arsenic detection, developed decades earlier, became more widely trusted. Coroners began preserving contents more consistently, and the public started recognizing the signs of chronic arsenic poison, which is diarrhea and vomiting, and the telltale gray pallor. Marianne lived in a time when poverty was really a death of its own. Insurance was one of a few ways a working class woman could gain money or freedom. And she didn't just manipulate the system, she perfected it. Victorian England idealized women as caregivers, as gentle, moral, and nurturing. The notion that a woman, especially a mother, could repeatedly murder her own children undermined that social order. And her story forced people to confront the uncomfortable truths about human nature, that cruelty is not just bound by gender. Marianne's conviction marked a turning point for forensic chemistry. Arsenic detection had existed since the 1830s, but her case showed that science could finally outpace the secrecy. The chemist beaker became as crucial as the policeman's notebook. Marianne Cotton's crime predate Jack the Ripper by more than a decade, yet she remains a shadowy figure compared to him, partly because her murders happened in the domestic sphere behind closed doors, quietly and patiently. She was in many ways the embodiment of hidden danger. It's a reminder that evil doesn't always wear a villain's face. And in the end, Marianne Cotton's life read like a ledger. It was an entry of names, deaths, and payouts. She moved through the mining towns and boarding houses like a storm nobody saw coming, leaving grief behind her and walking calmly into the next village to begin again. She wasn't a criminal genius. She wasn't glamorous or cunning in a Hollywood sense. She was something very more disturbing. She was ordinary. And that's why she still haunts the pages of history, because she knows how quietly a serial killer can live among us. So the next time you hear that old rhyme, if you do, remember the woman behind it, Marianne Cotton, the Black Widow of England, and the first serial killer, and one of the first serial killers ever caught by science.
That's right.
And that's the story of Marianne Cotton.
Well, thank you, sir. I'm wondering if she used chocolate.
I don't know. It really, because they don't have any definitive evidence on what she did. Just So, but I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah. Thanks to Mike and Brenda for that. I do appreciate the suggestion on that. I always love suggestions. They've got a couple more they sent me that I'm in the middle of looking through now. But thank you for that,
Sweet.
and thanks for staying along with me on that ride.
Well, thank you, sir. That was highly interesting.
Cool. So that will take us to the end of another recording week. As always, you can find more about us on nerderyandmurdery.com. That's our hub. That's our website for everything about us. You'll find more about us, information about the show, links, pictures, and the link to our YouTube page, which is so often updates.
Yeah, kids, definitely check this out on the YouTube page because that's where the playlist is. You can actually listen to this music. I think more people should listen to it. There's some really great indie stuff that's not, everywhere, but it's really good.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Appreciate all your work on that.
Thank you.
You can also find the link to our merchandise page where if you wish to show off your Nerdery and Murdery fandom, please do consider doing that. That really helps us, by the way. I want to throw this out there. I got contacted by a listener this week. It was about my book, but the same thing can happen here. This person happened to be carrying my book through a store and got stopped by 4 people to say, "Hey, what are you reading there?" Our logo sitting out there, people will ask about that. The name of the show itself kind of sparks some interest. Nerdery and Murdery. So please do consider purchasing some merchandise. It is literally free advertisement for us. And there's some good stuff out there to show off your Nerdery and Murdery fandom.
Yeah, pick up the Cue the Music shirt. It's awesome.
Yeah. You can also become a patron if you would like. The link to our Patreon account is on our website as well. Just like our merchandise sales, our patrons help with the costs that are associated with this show. It costs to keep us on the air for our storage, for our downloads, for our webpage, and everything that goes along with us. It's not cheap, it's not free, and we do appreciate each and every one of you.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. One thing you can do for completely free is leave a 5-star review wherever you can. The internet is full of algorithms, and the more you review us, the more people find us and find the information that we're talking about that they may be interested in the topics we discuss. And last, but certainly not least, as always, to our good friend Chuck, you can go to sleep now.
Good night, Chuck.
Good night, Chuck. With that,
I have been Zig with your Nerdery.
And I'm Geoffrey with your Murdering.
Cue the music.
Yeah.